Alright, Chapter 5, Layers and Inquiry Commands. What you will learn, you will what are layers in Autocad, how to create and set the layer properties with the layer controls, how you use quick properties and properties to have the inquiry commands and how to use them. Layers, concept of the AutoCAD with the layers, the most important with the well, you read it, organize, control, AutoCAD, drawing with the managing layer, with the managing with the drawing, so with the layer of the AutoCAD with the layers are simulation with the transparent piece of the paper with the which we will draw part over the drawing using a certain color, line type, of the line weight with each of the object with the layer will hold the property with that layer, meaning the object will have the same color, line type with the line weight of the layer it resides in. This is the setting is called bilayer, which means which we will control the drawing with the controlling layers rather than controlling objects. Each layer should have the name which will be considered the first step of the creation process with the proper naming. Sure that you have the following rules. Name length should not exceed 255 characters. All letters in small capital. Use all letters smaller capital. Use all numbers. Use hyphen, underscore, and all in a dollar sign. A unique layer will exist for the AutoCAD drawing with it called 0. The specific layer can be deleted or renamed. The other layers can be deleted and renamed. Layer at the top of the pile is only the layer at the top of the pile is the only layer we can draw on. We call it the current layer. So, at the rule of thumb, make the desired layer current first, and then start with the drawing. Then start with the building up the layers. Go to the Home tab of the Layers panel, but then click the Layers Property button. So there's the layer property button, manage layer with the layer properties there, F1 for more help. You'll see the following palette, which is called the layer property manager, and show the palettes are much more than the normal dialog box. The dialog box has two states that either display with the screen or close the palette with a can be displayed or but hidden, which will space with the continuous effort opening and the closing. And then show the auto hide button almost over the dialog box from resize open opposed to the palettes, which can be resized horizontal, vertical, or diagonally. Dialog box can be docked in, palettes can be docked at four sides of the screen, creating and setting of the layer properties. You will learn how to do the following: how to create with a new layer, how to set with the color of the layer, how to set with the line type of the layer, line weight of the layer, and how to set with the current layer, how to create a new layer. The command will add with the new layer with the current drawing, use the layer property manager with the new layer button. There will be the new layer button with the temporary name layer 1. The name field will be highlighted with the type of desired name. You all should always stick to the good name and convention layer containing doors should be named doors. Note all the following settings required with the use. Select with the data of the layer property manager. Select with the layers for the AutoCAD. Any of the following software running under Windows operating system. You can hold with the control key and shift and or shift to select with the multiple layers. Alright, how to set a color layer. You can use the one of the 256 colors available in AutoCAD. The first 7 colors can be set using the name of the number, then 0, color 1 to color 7. They are red 1, yellow 2, green 3, canyon 4, blue 5, magenta 6, black and white 7. The other colors should have to be setting on their own number to the side of the color due to the following steps. Use the layer properties manager. Click with the desired label. Click with the color field. Click the icon color. You can see the following dialog box. Show the colors and the OK and the cancel and help. So for the desired color, you can type with the name of the number of the color with the color field, then click the OK button, name of the section. Another way to check with the modified layers color by using the pop-up list for the layers panel just below. Show for the color layer in the pop-up list. How to set line type of the layer. There are two line type of the file with the AutoCAD, the AutoCAD LIN and AutoCAD ISO LIN. These two type of line file is not adequate to the all type of the engineering design and the drafting. You should be consider the more type of the line type of the available to one on the market. Contrary to the color line type is not loaded with the current file, but accordingly the user should load with the desired line types when needed for the line type of the real layer to do with the following steps. Use layer property manager, select with the desired layer line type of the field, click with the name of the line type that you will see with the following dialog box. Show the loaded line types. If the desired line type listed is then selected, if you not load it, and then click the load button, you will see the following dialog box. File, browse your desired line type loaded, but then click OK. Now with the line type it's loaded, you can select it and then click OK. How to select line weight for layers? The option with the line weight layer with all the object AutoCAD. Skip with the polyline width, the line weight with the default, which is 0, which can be set with the line weight for objects above through their layers, doing the following steps. Using a layer property manager for the select with the desired layer, you will field the line weight, click the line weight icon, field the dialog box will appear. So for the desired line weight, click OK, select the line weight on the screen, use the taskbar, click the show and hide line weight button on, which is the show and hide line weight LWS display command. How to simple the current layer with a shovel away to make make a layer current layer. The easy way is to leave the layer pop up to list in the layer panels as is. Another way with the layer property manager palette with a double click with a slash for the desired layer's name. Longest way with the layer property palette with a select with the desired layer and click with the set with the current button. Shift the set current or Alt C. Practice creating and setting layer properties, and we skip the practices. Layer control for the command to discover the following. Allow these to follow. You have the full and full control over the layers. We'll learn how to create with the visibility layer, locking layers, plotting layers, deletion of the layers, returning layers, renaming layers, etc. Or controlling layer visibility and locking and plotting. Autocad provides the control show hide layers or freeze and off. Lock and unlock layers, plot and not plot layers. Click with the two examples between them. The first example is the layer of the title block. The light bulb next to the lamp, this is the thaw, unlock, and print layer in that point. The second example is the staircase. The layer is off, frozen, locked, no plot. The new layer is created with the setting of the will be on with the thaw with the unlock plot. You can hide with the content of the layer with the turning them off on the freezing with the deep. Be perfect with them, then off the object with the frozen layer will be considered the drawing. The hints of the drawing side of the will be less temporary. When we use freezing to lessen the drawing size, if the drawing will become slow. If you try to freeze the current layer, Autocad will show the following message: layer cannot be frozen. Layer cannot be frozen because it is the current layer. Turn off the current layer instead of the freezing it, and you can make it a different layer with the current layer. But if you try to turn off the current layer, you'll see the following messages. Current layer will be turned off. What do you want to do to turn off the current layer? Object for the community you create now will be not be displayed with the drawing until you turn on the layer back on. Keep the current layer on. If you lock a layer, the object resides in it and will not be selected for an adding modifying commands. The object from the locked layer will be faded away. You can get them close to. When you get close to them, a small lock icon appears to help you with that the layer is locked once you follow the illustration. Show the crossword with a lock on it. If you turn the layer to no plot, the objects of the layer will be displayed but not plotted. On and off, thaw and freeze, lock and unlock will be controlled with a pop-up list of the layer panel with the layer property manager, whereas plot and no plot can be controlled only with the layer property manager. 532, deleting and renaming layers. Autocad will delete the layers that contain objects. If the delete only empty the layers, in order to delete the layers, make the following steps in the layer property manager palette. Select the desired layers and press delete on the keyboard, clicking the delete button. Layer property manager for the user renaming it and then order the following simple step. Layer property manager for select the desired label. Click with the layer name of the one, select the name of the highlighted editing type of the new name, and then press enter for the try with the delete of the layers contain objects. You will see the following message: select the layers not deleted. The following layers are cannot be deleted. Layers U with the DF that point with the current layer X. Layers contain objects X ref for the dependent layers. The rename and the layer of the following step with the select with the desired label. Click the name of the single click. You will see the following. Show the center lines of the tag. When it is a layer, so the name will be editable with the type of the name and with the press enter. How to make an object layers and to the current layer. The first fastest way of the layer with the current layer with the issue with the command that simply select with the object that resides in the layer. The following step with the home tab, select with the layers panel, make with the current button. You'll see the following prompts. Select with the object whose layer will become current. Select with the desired object. Click with the current layer. You'll find that it has become the object layer even without you knowing the object layer. How do you undo layer actions? How do you undo only layer actions? The function undo with the layers actions only is called the layer previous. The function will help you to restore the previous states of the layer, like freeze, thaw, on and off, etc., without affecting the drawing and modify with the command. The following steps: change the layer states as needed. Go to Home tab Layers panel with the previous button. In the command window, you'll see the following message: restore previous layer status. Move an object with one layer to another, so all similar objects must reside with the same layer. With the button mistake with the may occur with the draw with the wrong layer. Whether you want to move the object to the right layer, you can use the match command. Doing the following: go to Home tab Layers panel, then click the match button. So then you have the match layer, change the layer of the selected object to match the destination layer of the following prompt. Select the object to be changed to that object for the destination or name. The command contains two prompts. The U for the first U for the prompts you first to select the object mistakenly drawn into the wrong layer, then select the prompt. Either select an object for the reside of the right layer, simply type of the name and end of something like the following command will be the 8 objects chained within the layer's dimensions. While you are in Layers Property Manager, P and Palette, you can do several actions. For example, you select the layer and right-click you see the menu like with the following: Show Filter Tree, show filter the layer list, say current new layer with the rename layer, delete chain with the description, remove the group filter, new VPM, new layer VP for the frozen all viewports, freeze the layers, viewport, all layer, all viewports, isolated selected layer, merge selected layer, layers 2. Select all, clear all, select all button, current, insert, invert selection, invert layer, filter, save layer, states, restore layer, states. In this menu you can do all of the following: set the current layer, create with a new layer, delete layers, select all of the current layers, create the selection, select all of the current, invert selection, make selected, unselected, vice versa. On one of the things, show high of the filter tree. Show filter tree with the default with the turned on. Show filter layer list if the default is turned on. If the turned on the show filter tree, you will be allowed to see more information about the layers as the following. Another way to do the same thing is click with the small arrow over the top of the right with the part with the fillet tree pane. Practice layer controls. Changing object with the layer with the quick properties and property. You will learn to create with an object with the property 551. Reading instantaneous information about an object. Autocad provides the instantaneous information about any object with the mouse hovers over the object. The following illustration show the line color, line type of the line type layer. Autocad showing the type of the object line is a color with the layer and the line type of how to move the object with the layer with another layer with the object. Autocad show the design of the layer to move the object with the one away layer to another following the following steps. Click with the desired object, go to the Home tab, locate the layers panel, click with the layer name with a pop-up list display with a layer. This part with sometimes blank with the happens when you desired object reside with a different layer. Click with the layers pop-up list, select with the new layer name. Press escape once deselect all the selected layers. What is quick properties? First of the two commands enable to do the chain with the property. Select with the object with properties depending on the object type of the line with the properties of different comparing to arc and circle polylines. Quick properties will pop up the screen whenever you select with the object. When issuing the command, use the grip selection does not appear. Click with the following button. Status bar will switch on and off. Show for the quick properties are QP mode and when you select an object found with the circle and example, show the color, layer, line type, center, X and Y, radius, diameter, circumference, and area. The following is the information: color, line type, coordinates X and Y, radius, diameter, the circumference, and area. If you select more than one object of the same type, you will see the color, layer, type, line type, length. But if you select more than one object with a different type of the you will see all layers and varies. You see all the numbers which mean within there is seen within an object. For example, the 4 different types that you see with the breakdown. Select the object, clicking on the pop-up list is shown. When selecting the object, single object type, you can change with the general specifically object property. You can change the note with the quick properties grant with the select with a different layer type of the column line type. Usually with the effect change concurrently with this apply with the next command as well. What is property with the name of the identity indicated with quick properties will be the fastest way to change with the property for the object. However, the properties command is more detailed with all the rules, but the quick properties are applicable here as well. The issue of the property command file with the select with the desired object. Right click, select the property options. Another way to double click with the object with the property palette then has the 2 drawbacks. First, away with a single object with the second with some of the objects like with the polyline block from the hash patterns. And text will interpret this action as an edit either way, but you will see something like the following. Show the property menu, and as you can see, with the more information displayed here, when the quick properties have given the power of the more chain with the selected object. In practice, we don't do the practices. Inquire commands introduction. Main purpose of the setting with the command measuring length with between 2 points with inquiring the radius and circle. The measuring aids will measure angle, area, measure for the volume of the 3D object. The user will set with the command to make the set. Sure that the drawing is correct, but according to the design intent of the issue with the function going to the Home tab, locate the utilities panel with the following. For all these commands, the cursor will change with the following: measure the distance with the command will measure the distance between the 2 selected points. The issue with the command go to the Home tab, utilities panel, click the distance button. Let's measure geometry, GEOM. You'll see the following prompts: see the first and second point, select the desired point. Autocad will display something like the following screen. And you will see the following result of the command: property distance, angle with the XY plane, angle from the XY plane, delta X, delta Y, delta Z, inquiring radius of the command will check for the radius of the parameter as well with the drawn circle, the arc, with the issue of the command with the home tab. Locate utilities panel, select the radius button, show the go on to measure it. Now your radius, measure for the measure, radius, geometry, radius of the circle. Autocad will display with the following prompts: select the arc, circle with the desired arc, and circle the will of the following on the screen. You will see with the following on the command window: radius 2, radius diameter 4, measuring angle with the command window to measure for the angle with the between the two lines, with the include with the angle with the arc for the 2 point with the center over the circle. Issue for the command home tab of the utilities panel, select with the angle button. You'll see the following prompt: see with the arc, circle with the specified vertex, insert with the desired object with the 2 line with the arc with the point with the circle. Autocad will display with the following on the screen. As you see something like the following command: angle 135 degrees, measuring area. Command will measure area with a simple area with there's no islands inside, with a complex area with inside islands inside. AutoCAD can measure area with the between points, assuming lines or arcs, and connect them. Objects like circle with the closed polylines. Issue the command: go home. Utilities panel, select with the area button. You will see the following points: select the first corner object and add area, select area, subtract area, exit an object. How to calculate simple area? The definition of simple area is a closed area with any object without any object with any islands inside. It will be assumed that you want to measure the simple area with the trail with specifying the point with the selecting object, so you can start with the specifying points. AutoCAD will assume that there are either line with their areas connecting them. For the lines, you will see with the following points. Select next point, arc and length, and select next point, arc and length, and undo. Select next point, arc and length, undo, total. Select next point, arc length, undo, total. If you see an N in your area, simply change with the mode of the arc, and you will see with the prompt identical to the polyline command. Keep it to specify with the points of the lines command with the press enter. You will see the total value of the measured area with the command window. You will see the following on the screen. As you see the following display with the command windows, the area with and a parameter. If you have a simple area with a parameter, a similar object, single object with you can select the object rather than specifying with the points either the right or the click of the object of option. Type 0 with the command window. That you'll see the following prompt: select the object, select the object whose area with a measure for the press enter. F510.2 with how to calculate complex area with the definition of complex area that is closed with the object area of the object and islands with the inside with the tail with the AutoCAD with the one with the calculate with the complex area with the tab with the start with either with the addition area with the subtract area with the if you start with the add area with the subtract area with the AutoCAD will start the area of 0, which with the area with the subtract is the area with the need with the add arm area mode will be the following prompts. Specify the first corner point with the object subtract area exit. This is for the area. The same method is discussed as point and object. Then switch to the subtract area mode. You the total following points. First corner object with add an extra area and exit. AutoCAD will give you the subtract total each time after adding and subtracting areas. When done, press enter twice once. End command file net area. See the following pictures area and then practice inquiry. Chapter review answers, and we're on to chapter 6 blocks and hatches.